Dear listeners, we gather here today not to debate dogma, but to change the mirror through which we view our supposedly real daily lives. Spiritual practice is, at its core, extremely practical. As the Yuan dynasty master Zhongfen taught in the instructions of the illusionary abode Huanzu Jackson, wisdom is the key to unlocking the gridlock of our existence. Today's content is provided by the Buddha Activity Association of Australia, offering a touch of cool clarity in this chaotic world. While beings in the hell realms are busy suffering, those in the human realm are busy creating karma. Today, we delve into Volume 16 of Master Zhongfen's instructions. His words are cold and piercing, yet profoundly realistic. He begins by stating, "Know that in the illusion, there is no sacred or profane, no self or other." Many read this and understand the literal meaning, but fail to grasp the marrow beneath. When explained through traditional Buddhist terminology, it often feels elusive. In truth, this reality is right before us. Look at the mountains, the rivers, the people, the furniture. Which of these is not an illusion? We are accustomed to viewing Buddhas and patriarchs as distant figures. Yet we forget to observe what is right in front of our eyes. The labyrinth of labels and the root of greed. Why do we perceive the world as solidly real? Because we are obsessed with labeling. Take a table, a Chinese person calls it shuozi. An English speaker calls it a table, and an indigenous person might have another name entirely. The object itself never claimed to be anything. However, due to our differing habitual imprints within, we establish different labels. This act of labeling is the beginning of chaos. All things are inherently undivided. When did a table and a chair ever decide to separate themselves? They have no concept of I am a table and you are a chair, so we cannot be together. Only humans insist on distinguishing mine from yours. Why? The root is greed. Because of greed, I must ensure you don't take what is mine. Because of resentment, we judge right from wrong. Because of arrogance, we seek to rank ourselves. Even an ant likely thinks it is superior to others. This habit begins at birth. We plaster the world with labels and eventually lock ourselves inside that cage, spinning a lifetime of endless friction and suffering. The most typical example is a married couple. Before the labels were applied, you were you and I was I. Once the label is stuck, it is as if you are no longer yourself, and I belong to you. Both sides seek to possess, and the labels result in total confusion. This applies not just to individuals, but to corporations and nations. Essentially, it is mistaking the false for the true, creating conflict where there was originally nothing. Mastering the hard rules of the illusion. Recognizing life as an illusion does not mean we should become passive or escapist. It means we must master the rules of how the illusion operates. Illusions have their own laws. It is like a computer. If you don't know how to use the keyboard or the mouse, you cannot create a movie or edit a photo. In real life, many people are just blindly poking at the world. You want respect, yet you act in ways that breed resentment. You want to farm, but because you don't understand the rules, you only grow weeds. The Dharma is, in essence, the instruction manual. The Buddhas and Bodhisattvas use their manifestation of cause and effect to tell us the rules. Your specific actions will yield specific results. You can either manifest beauty within the illusion with ease, or you can manifest hardship and struggle. Even from a neuroscientific perspective, the direction of our thoughts acts as a navigation system. Our neural pathways grow where our intention goes. If you constantly dwell on negative thoughts and unwholesome karma, those negative connections will strengthen. Spiritual practice is the act of unplugging, ceasing to provide energy to those negative paths so they eventually wither away. 3 lamps in one room, inseparable, yet distinct. When we discuss the idea that realizing the illusion means one sees neither nirvana there nor birth and death here, we must understand that birth, dwelling, change, and extinction are phenomena, while body and nirvana are the self-nature. Why emphasize no self or other? Imagine a room lit simultaneously by a red, a green, and a yellow lamp. The light from all three fills the entire room. How do you separate them? Have they merged? If you turn them off, the red light remains red, it hasn't blended into a different color. But are they separate? In that space where the light mingles, you cannot cut them apart. This is called non-dual and undivided, distinct yet continuous. You pervade the universe, and the Buddha pervades the universe. Just like the light from two lamps, they do not obstruct one another. When you are in pain, I may not feel it, because even though we occupy the same space, we are each experiencing our own affairs. Only those who have reached the sacred state can truly interpenetrate, that is true liberation. Remember what is real. Only that which never changes is real. In reality, the mountains and rivers change, and your body's cells change every second. This process of constant change is the illusion. If you insist on clinging to an unchanging image of the illusion, that is a delusion, a thought that does not align with the facts. Wisdom is simply making your perception perfectly align with reality. Do not be the tree hugger. Finally, we must be wary of sloppy or superficial practice. Many people claim they are bound by worldly affairs, social obligations, or sensory pleasures. This is a great falsehood. A master once performed a test. No delicious food ever jumped into a person's mouth on its own, and no object ever actively clung to a person. The truth is, you are hugging the tree is not hugging you. If you are death gripping the tree of fame, ego, greed, and anger while claiming you want to escape the cycle of reincarnation, you are lying to yourself. Spiritual practice isn't walking in place for 10,000 years, it is honestly letting go of the hands that are clutching the illusion. When you truly recognize the illusion, you actually develop genuine appreciation. Because you know it is changing, you can possess it more freely, rather than exhausting your life fighting for it pointlessly. This is simply the way things are, Dhammatta, not a forced argument. Our lives are spent mostly oscillating between labels and marshes. But if, in a single moment, you can recognize the tree you are clutching and try to loosen your grip, liberation arises in that very instant. Thank you for listening to this wisdom sharing from the Buddha Activity Association of Australia. To awaken is enough, many words are of no use. May we all master the rules and find ease within this illusory life. Until next time.